thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you so much for being here and being the incredible talents that you are. You all mean so much to us. So thank you so much for coming.
Oh, of course. This
Well,
is great.
it's a pleasure to be here.
It really is. Thank you for having us.
Perfect. Okay, so let's jump right in because I know I do not want to hold everyone up. And if you are here, welcome again. We are speaking. This is the real pages. These are the real actresses. Angela Bassett, Lela Rochon, and Loretta Devine are here. Three of the leading cast members from Waiting to Exhale. And we're about to get into all of the incredible moments from this iconic film with Seen in Black, HBO Max's space for us Black folks to just feel seen and heard. And so tonight, we just got to rewatch the incredible film. And I have to ask, some roles and opportunities come at the exact right time. So I have to ask you all to take me back when you got the call to be a part of this film. Did this role or character help to heal anything you were experiencing or had experienced at the time? And Lila, I'll start with you. Like, what was happening in your life when you got the call to be a part of this iconic film?
Well, for me, I felt like it was exactly where I was in my life. I was
Wow.
30, I was single, I was unmarried. I felt hopeless in love. I felt all of Robin's pain and all of her loneliness and sadness that she was going through.
Mm,
And so, it's really rare when the stars line up that you're the perfect age, it's the perfect time, to play a particular role.
mm.
And it was cathartic for me. It really was. And it was healing.
I have to tell you that it was the outfits in the film for me. It was the glam in the film for me, and we're gonna get into that after because I saw your tweet about. Well, I want to hear about the white dress. Okay, so we
Okay.
we will get into that. Miss Loretta, please tell me. Okay, where were you at that moment? What was happening in your life when you got the call to be a part of this film?
I think at that point in my life, I was auditioning for everything that I could.
Wow.
I had been doing a lot of guest appearances on different shows, and it was like 1995. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
happening. There was so many exciting things going on, and it just seemed like everything was possible. Well, I had gone to a regular audition, and there were so many divas in the room, and you just hold your breath until you find out what happens. And when I got the call, I was blown away. I was very happy. That's what I can say.
Wow. And where did you all see each other at the audition, or was it kind of it was more like per role you would see who else was available and audition for the part?
Well, let's be clear. Angela Bassett and Whitney Houston did not
Uh-huh.
audition.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for the
thank
clarity, Miss
you,
Layla. Thank you.
Leela.
Layla. Thank you, Miss Layla.
Leela.
And Loretta shouldn't have had to audition.
Hello.
Girl, listen, there was some divas in the room when I went and auditioned. It was so many divas. If
I
you
missed
remember,
the
it
room.
was a slew of people from New York that had just finished those Broadway shows.
Wow.
Everybody was
Mm.
here. And the competition was tough. I mean, it was like, to me, I was like, oh my God, I got it. I couldn't believe it.
You all were so perfect, and like I know the stars aligned because this film couldn't have happened without each of you. Just couldn't have sat in our hearts the way it does without each of you. So thank you for auditioning and showing up. And Miss Angela Bassett, since you did not have to audition, how did the
Wow.
role how did the role come to you?
I was just well. I know what that whole room and feeling and journey is all about. But at this point, I had done. I was doing. Let me see. I had done Strange Days, this movie Strange Days with Catherine Bigelow, and I had done, and right after that, Vampire in Brooklyn
I
with
love that
Wes
film.
Craven directing and Eddie Murphy. So it was literally back to back. And imagine Strange Days and
Hmm.
Vampire in Brooklyn were both night shoots. So
Wow.
it was, just back to back. It was maybe like 7 months of like being on night shoots. And then after that came Waiting to Exhale. I was truly exhausted, but
Mm.
it was just a role and a time and an offer and a cast and a director and an opportunity that infused me with new life.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
couldn't say no to. I felt like I understood that character and just in totality, in whole, in spirit and soul. And yeah, it wasn't draining. It was one that was going to just give me life again. So
Mm.
that's where I was at that time.
That is so beautiful. I have to this is going off the script a little bit, but I have to ask, what was it like at the first table read? Because I can only imagine the beauty in that room at that moment where, before you guys even started to film, you got to see each other and feel the space and see how the film was going to play out. So what was it like to be there at that first interaction or those first days on set?
Maybe y'all, Lela, Loretta,
Yeah,
maybe y'all have better memory. I don't remember a table read, but I do remember us
I,
being
I, re-
together and bowling and playing
oh,
cards and hanging out
yeah.
I
at
We
Whitney's
did.
remember.
house.
We
Yeah.
did a lot of social stuff, but I remember us meeting in your house where your scene was going to take place, Angela.
Yes.
And it was
Mm-hmm.
an incredibly beautiful home that had a pool that looked like it went over a cliff or
Yes.
something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was just absolutely incredible.
It was.
Mm.
And
It.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Lela.
Loretta. No, go ahead. I no,
It
I
was
was
just an
just gonna say I remember every single thing because it was just an out of body experience, and I remember I was so nervous,
Mm.
and I was really nervous to meet Whitney. I was just like, oh Lord, please let her like me, because if she doesn't like me, I'm doomed. And when she was so sweet and she was so
Mm.
nice, and then we all like, do you
Yes.
remember we all like sat on the balcony and had dinner
Mm.
after the table read, and we were all laughing and joking. It was like we had been friends forever.
Yeah, truly.
Wow. Oh, shout out to the casting director of this film for knowing that you all would have that kindred spirit all like when you first met, because it's hard to know which people will connect and gel
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
screen and off screen. And so that is a beautiful experience. And I have to say, Whitney Houston is I am such a Whitney Houston fan. Like, it's such a beautiful thing to see her and just hold space for her,
Hmm.
as we miss her very, very much. But what was it like working, alongside Whitney at this moment?
Yeah, those were the special moments, the time, because, Waiting to Excel was the lives of four individual women. So a lot of the filming we did in solitary.
Alone. Yep.
A lot of our scenes were our scenes, and there were a few connective tissues when the four of us or the two of us, or especially the four of us were
I
together,
have to.
got an
I have.
opportunity to film. But she was absolutely giving and generous and delightful and prepared and professional, and it was just it was a beautiful time in that
I want to
space.
say that I want to say that we were so bad. We would at first they were letting us come and see
Oh,
all the
oh,
scenes.
they
You
stopped
remember?
that. Yes, I
And
do.
then
Yes, they stopped that.
They
it
call
was
it
a
the
scene,
dailies. The dailies,
and
when they would allow us to see the work from the previous day. We'd have a
it
chance
was
to get
we
together,
were all
have
there.
snacks,
Yes.
and watch the work from the previous day. That was to
Wait,
happen
Angela,
every
wait.
evening.
Angela, wait, let me tell it. And
Go ahead
so
and tell it. I'm setting it up. I'm
we
giving you context.
me, Lela, I think, and Angela was at one of the dailies, and Whitney came down the stairs in one of the scenes in some white shoes, and we cracked up laughing, and they put us out of the dailies forever. They
let,
wouldn't let
let,
us.
let, me, let me defend myself. I was not there, Loretta. I was working, and I heard about this, and I was like, oh my God, we can watch. They knew not to tell me because I was way too excited. I could not have been in that room.
We cracked up, and they put us out of dailies. I don't think we got a chance to see anything after that.
Mhm.
Um, but it was
That is so
almost always
beautiful.
a lot of excitement. Everything, it's
Yeah.
just like everything was going on. There were
Mm.
also paparazzi that were sneaking around in the trees trying to get
Yeah.
pictures of Whitney at that time.
Oh
And
Mm.
yeah.
I cannot ever remember experiencing, well, I experienced it when I worked with her again in another movie, but I
Hmm.
had never seen anything like that. And so from the costumes on down, there was so much going on. The makeup people were excellent. I remember Ellen and
Hello.
the guy that did my hair. He used to give massages in his room, and we learned not to go there. There was so many
What?
exciting things.
I love all this. I love
You
this so
learn
much.
not to go there.
I'm enjoying this so much. I'm sitting here like I know I'm supposed to be moderating, but I could just listen to y'all talk all day. But I do have to do my job. Okay, so the book by the iconic authoress herself, Terry McMillan, came out in 1992. Had you all been familiar with the book? And I'll start with you, Miss Loretta. Did you read it? Did you or did you get the script first?
Yes, I had read the book, and I was so terrified they was gonna have me do that. There was some bathtub scene or some bedroom scene. I was just terrified, and I was so glad Forrest didn't keep that in the movie. But and then I had to learn to swim because I had a big death scene. They took that. It was a lot of stuff cut out that the world never got a chance got a chance to see.
Wait, there was a death scene.
Yeah, she was swimming for
Remember,
months, practicing months and months of
months.
swimming.
Because I had a weak heart. If you watch the movie, you'll see I keep touching my chest because I was
Yes.
supposed to have a weak heart. But that part never made it to the movie.
You
And there
can't you
also
can't put it all in.
and there also, if you watch the movie closely, there are also scenes where I have a scene where I have an earring on and then the earring's gone. I have an earring on and then the earring's gone. I have an earring on and then the
What's
earring's
that
gone.
about?
It
It,
was
it,
my scene with Carlos, my husband.
it keeps
Gee,
popping on
Carlos,
and off. You have to see it. It keeps popping on and off, Angela. It's
Why?
with
when you
Giancarlo
watch,
because she did a take without the earring and then they liked the take, so they mixed it. So the
there were
earring
Oh,
all
pops
kinds of
on and
things like
off.
that.
okay,
If you
okay.
watch the movie again, you're looking for these things, you'll see them. I know people like to see. Oh my God, there it is. Yeah,
Yes.
a whole scene. I would be talking to him, my earring would be on, and then he talked to me, and then to come back, my earring would be off. Uh, that
That's
was an
so good.
exciting scene for
That's
me.
so good. And then the book itself tells so many different stories from the perspectives of just Black women, and we it's even after 2 decades. Me and my friends watched this when we got in our early 20s together on a girls' night, and I remember us not emulating the exact things, but it was the same feeling of safe space. And for so many years, this type of story wasn't told. Tell me
Hmm.
about what it was like to create a safe space, and then to feel how it reverberated with Black women in our communities once the film came out. What was it like to hear the response from other Black women at that time who hadn't seen themselves on screen in that way? And Miss Angela, I'll start with you on that one.
It was just a moment of immense pride, because a lot of times as actresses, we're auditioning and we get a role, and we as Black people sometimes we know that feeling of being the only one in the room or in the place, and we don't have someone there who we can just look at and we know what's going on with one another,
Right.
the things that we go through that are similar. But and there had been up to that point, at least in film, you rarely saw yourself, and you rarely saw more than one, and you rarely saw us in a place where we were celebrated and we
Mm,
were beautiful, we were gorgeous, there was camaraderie between us, and it was our story to tell. It was a beautiful one, and we were multidimensional and well-rounded, and we had
mm,
love stories, and we had joy, and we had angst, all of that. And
mm,
to see that you hadn't seen that in chocolate, you hadn't seen that in vanilla, you
mm.
know
Talk about
and
it.
right, so we that was a moment of pride for me, for waiting of waiting to exhale, these four beautiful Black women and their stories, and following that, then you
Mm.
begin to see stories, like the First Wives Club, where
Yep.
stories about women follow. Because before then, it was sort of, it has strongly been, who's the lead, the white
Yeah.
male, and who's his best friend, the brother, and
Mm,
who's his wife, the white woman, and
mm,
the sister was maybe the wife of Danny Glover, the wife of the brother,
mm,
or the secretary to you know the lead. So for it to be a story about us and our needs, our desire, our sensuality, sexuality, all of that, it was just such a shift in
mm,
the atmosphere. um
mm.
yeah, so I was proud to be a part of it, so proud.
So proud.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Miss Loretta. I see you took your mic off. Go ahead. I know you got something to add.
Yes, and the full figure girl got in the front.
Come
It was
on.
so wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Baby, that
I,
walk, that walk
I was
away.
I was the only one that could eat on at work. They could. Everybody was starving. Y'all need to tell it.
Oh, yeah, I was starving.
And you're the only one who got roses on day one from her co-star
Yes,
too, Loretta.
yes.
Gregory
That,
Hines
that's because
or
that that's because
Yes.
Gregory and I have history. We did Coming Uptown on Broadway many years before. That was like
Yeah.
one of my first Broadway shows, and he was such a gentleman. I loved him
Yes.
dearly, and he made me feel so proud and happy. When if you ask me what was my favorite scene, it was the kissing him scene where I kiss him all the way down to the couch. That was wonderful. And after that, of course, was the scene with all the women. That was a lot of fun too. So I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, Lela.
yes, Leela.
What's the question?
I was gonna ask that one now. I really want to make sure because Miss Loretta did start the new question, so I'm gonna ask it correctly. What is your favorite scene from the film? What's one of the most memorable ones, even if it was filming, and then even if it's your favorite scene to watch from the film?
Oh
Which one would
my
that be?
God. I have so many scenes I love to watch. I think
Mm-hmm.
my favorite one to watch is
Mm-hmm.
Wesley and Angela in the hotel room.
Oh,
Oh.
I think Wesley and Angela in the hotel room always gets me. And
Oh.
um, I think the the hardest one to film was my 9-minute love scene with Wendell Pierce.
with
That
Wendell.
oh my God, that was 2 days. That was 2 days. It was 120 degrees in Phoenix. And I mean, thank God I
I
was
love
naked
that
pretty
scene.
much. But I mean, he was sweating profusely. I had on body makeup. We were melting. It was just a hot mess. You have no idea.
Wendell loved that scene, Lily. That's one of his favorite scenes.
I love it too. I love it too. We had fun with it because the first time he accidentally dropped me, and then I said, "Oh, do it again. That's funny." And Forrest was like, "No, no, no. He can't drop you. He can't drop you." I said, "Forrest, trust me. It's funny. Let's do it again."
Oh,
So yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was fun.
That's brilliant.
I love that scene as
What
well
about?
as your Romeo and Juliet scene.
Oh
but
Oh
you
my
know
yeah,
goodness!
what?
yeah, yeah.
Can
Thank
we
you.
talk
Yeah,
You know
about
what?
yeah,
how
that
much
was
of
fun.
that was
Mm.
improv?
That's the only scene that I will say was a lot of improv. And I can't even take full credit. It was so bad that I was running into my apartment and the crew members were feeding me lines to feed back at him. Like
Oh,
I would hate to see the outtakes because they're crazy. Because they were almost like getting to your mama jokes. Like he
yes.
would say something and I would say something. I was like, okay, this take, I got something for you. I got something for you. And that whole leather wearing in the summertime, needle shave, having stinky ass home. That
Right.
I made that up. Yeah.
I
Because
know.
I was like, when he showed up to do the scene, I was like, what the heck are you wearing? You have on leather. It's 120 degrees outside. And I think Michael T somewhere thought that was a good outfit. I was
Wait.
like,
Yes.
okay, I'm about to have fun with that leather jacket you got on today.
He
Yes, I
thought it
knew.
was a good outfit, a good idea to bite you in the party too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
brilliant. When he did
He
that, I was
yeah,
not expecting that. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
he was great. He was
He was
great.
wonderful. He was so free in that. It was lovely.
But
Lovely.
everyone always say that Angela was cheated because she didn't get an Oscar for Tina Turner, but she was also cheated for that car scene and that
Oh
Hello.
yes, she
monologue that she
was.
did,
Oh.
where she went
Applause.
on for two
Applause.
days before she set that car fire. I mean, they should give her 2 or 3 Oscars post, what is it, after the fact or something. They need to do it for
I
Black
love
History Month because she was incredible. And I'm telling you, we should have been the movie is a classic.
It
We
is a
have so
classic.
many classics that people don't realize
Mm.
in the world are not recognized as classics. But I think Waiting to Exhale is definitely one of them because it changed the world, I
Mm.
believe. You know, that's what
Amazing.
I feel about it.
Definitely.
Miss Angela Bassett, I have to ask you about
Mhm.
that car scene because it was the walk. It was the first of all
Everything.
the anger in the closet. The starting
Thank
is my
you.
friends and I. We literally be like, get your ish, get your ish, get your ish, and get out. Like we legit do this all
Right,
the time.
right,
Tell me
right.
about this scene, how it came together. Take me back. I want to know everything from the filming those scenes. How did you prepare for this moment? Take me back.
Yes, yeah. You know that um th- reading the book, you were asking earlier about reading the book, and yes, I
Mm-hmm.
remember living in New York and riding the subway when that book came out, and it seemed like every other person on the subway had that book and was reading it. So then years later, when the movie was being made, it was like, oh my gosh, this is this is going to be, people are going to see this, because it was just mania reading it, just in the literary world. But and I wanted, and I remember talking to talking about what character I would do. And Terry would say, "Oh, Angela, I want you to play Savannah, the Whitney."
Mm.
And I was like, "No, that's not the one I want. I want Bernadine." So it was very early in the process. And she was like, "Really?" But it was something about Bernadine, and just in reading the book, selling everything of his for $1, no matter
Mm.
what it was. Something about that just felt so so cathartic and affirming and badass,
Yes.
So that's what I wanted. That's what drew me. Just everything for $1. Just in reading the tale. We were in that small closet. We had the radio flyer, the wagon, and I could just pull everything. And you, with Forrest, you were allowed to, and there were moments where you were allowed to improvise.
Yes.
So as I'm going through and I'm grabbing all of his stuff, and I'm remembering how he's done me and what he's done to me and who he's done with, and remembering my story, I could improvise. I was the background to your foreground,
Mm.
that kind of stuff. And get your shit, and
Mm.
that's just what it felt like. So that all that was improvisational. Um, and just going down with your robe flying behind you, and lighting the lighter fluid. And
Yes.
then I felt like my mama, my badass mama in that moment,
Mm.
because when I was growing up, my mother would say, if I did something wrong, she'd go, "Okay, I'll fix your little red wagon." And so she was sort of she was definitely my inspiration in that moment,
Wow.
lighting all of that on fire, for my husband who's done me wrong. "I'll fix your little red wagon."
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, this is so good. Oh, I'm so sad we don't have a. We need a whole day to celebrate. We need a waiting to exhale holiday, truly, because you all,
Oh, yeah.
we need a day. We're gonna have to HBO and Cena Black. We need a day. We need a conference, everything next time around, so we can really dig into every part because Forrest Whitaker. This was his directorial debut, and so many people don't realize that this was his first one out. So what was that like? I'm sure some of you had already known him. What was it like to trust him in having him tell this story about Black women from
Well, I didn't know him. Of course, we were familiar with his work,
right?
Bird, and as an actor. But of course, his directorial debut, I think maybe he had done some videos, whatever before, but it was brand new. So I don't know how. Yeah, he was the only name we ever heard. But I have to say, I completely and utterly fell in love with him. And probably Loretta and
Mm,
Lela can tell you this. I was
mm,
probably shameful. I was so enamored and in love with him. The way he honored us and treated us, the way when we were, at the house sitting, on the floor in front of the couch, and we're doing that scene, and I think I'm trying to call the ex-wife or whatever.
mhm,
Forrest looking, he would say, I don't think he would say action. He was so gentle and quiet. His finger would run across our images on the playback on the television on the screen there, and it was as if he would get caught up in us. I mean, we felt such love and adoration from. There was nothing we wouldn't do for him for how long as it would take. That's what I felt, you know.
We were always hollering at each other, "Be quiet, Forrest is talking," because he didn't. He spoke so softly. It was like, "Okay, girls, we're going to start,"
And he would just laugh. He would just kind of laugh and wait for us. He would
and
just
wait for
wait.
us to shut up. But me, I was
That
always
probably
afraid.
was the best because you hear how we talking tonight, so you can imagine.
I was afraid he was going to recognize me from Toronto. I was doing this movie and I hadn't seen any black people, and the co-star, which was I forget her name. She was one of some of the white girls said, "Black man in the elevator," and I would run and hit the back wall, and I went, "Hello," and it was Mars Whitaker, and
That
I
is
was
so
so
funny.
afraid that he would recognize me the whole time I was doing the movie, but I don't think he ever did. Thank God.
It all
Well,
worked out.
He did.
That is so good. Okay, Miss
Mhm.
Lela, I'm gonna let you tell me about this white dress because I saw your tweet. Now, please tell me
ah,
about the white
Oh
dress.
God.
oh my God, this white dress is going to break everybody's heart.
Mm.
Well, let me say this first. I had a time with my wardrobe because I wanted them to buy me $10,000 Hervé Leger dresses and all this
Oh,
stuff. And they were like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "We can't afford that. What are you talking about? I picked out what I want to wear." And they're like,
But remember,
"No."
Leela, we had one costume designer, and literally the
Yeah.
weekend before we began filming, he was released, and we had another Judy
Judy
Ruskin.
Ruskin, yes, she came in 2 days
She
before
came.
and did the whole movie
I think,
because our
yeah, she
clothes were
went.
so bad and we were freaking out.
They were
mm.
horrible. Well,
They were
the
horrible.
couple that we had, we didn't have that much.
We didn't have enough. We only
We
had a
didn't have
couple of
anything.
outfits. So I was completely panicking, picking out my clothes. I was doing my own shopping and I went to the lingerie store and like picked everything and put it
Wow.
on hold. And they were like,
She was at
I,
TJ
I
Maxx and everything. She came to my
everywhere.
church. She
I was
lifted
like,
up her shirt. She was like, "Look," she had a rash around her complete torso,
No.
but she kept working. She kept working. It was like, "Oh my God,
oh,
look
I
at
didn't know
this."
she went through all that. But
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah, because I was begging her for everything. And I was like, "Did you buy the stuff I put on hold?" She's like, "Yeah, I bought everything." And I was like, "Oh," but she hated that I was like shopping while she was shopping, but I was just panicked to get it right. And so the white dress, back to the white dress. I
Mm-hmm.
hate to tell everybody, but the white dress came from Loman's. It came from Loman's. I don't know who it was by, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they paid very much for it. And I never even thought to want to keep it. I was like, I wore it. I'm done with it. I wore it for a week.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
and I wish I had slipped it. I won't say stolen it, but it could have should have came up missing.
Somebody needs to remake that dress because that dress is so good. And I just have to say, the abs were giving everything we needed
Oh,
because
thank
I
you,
seen the abs
thank you.
peeking through. So
Yes,
it's
they were
gorgeous.
lots of hours at home in my little Arizona apartment trying to
Yes.
make those happen.
That is so good. Okay, so I know everyone has to go, so I want to ask one last question for the night from everyone because this movie has provided a safe space for Black women to feel, to heal, to cry, to know that the mistakes we make in our love life aren't the end of the world. The places that we go with our friends are beautiful and spaces that we must continue to create. And you all have been such inspirational leaders in off and on screen for so many years. What do you hope Black women everywhere feel when they watch Waiting to Exhale, even if it's their first or 10th time watching it? Every time they watch it, what do you hope they take with them from the film?
I I I hope I'll go first. I
Mm-hmm.
hope that when Black women watch this film, and I really say want to say all women watch this film because
Yeah.
the shocking part for Loretta and I was walking through airports and seeing all
Mm.
kinds of women screaming about this movie, and we said, "Oh my God, this is not just a Black movie. This is all women. This is a chick flick. This is a woman's movie." But what I hope that they take from it is empowerment to see yourself whether you're plus size, a size 0, long hair, weave, whatever, to love yourself just as you are and to realize no matter what you're going through or who you're with, you are good enough as you are.
Oh, that was so good, Lela.
Beautiful.
Well
Oh, that
said.
was beautiful. Yes, yes.
So good. Whoever wants to jump in next.
Yeah, I would say, like Leela, to build on that, it really is to be seen, to be to
Mm,
be seen, to be heard, but not just heard. I think as women, as human, we want to be understood. You
mm,
know,
Mm,
for someone to just say, I hear you, yeah, but do you understand me? And I think in this movie, all these many different scenarios that they go through, the different situations, whether it's as a mature woman, a young woman, you know, a divorced woman, married, being the one who's cheated on, the one who's the side chick, you know,
mm,
whatever we just to be seen, to be understood, um, and you know, not judging is hard, but life is long, and we go through a lot, and we're all just human. So it really is. It's community. I love
mm,
sisters. I love the camaraderie that we share, and I love especially when we're able to be open, authentic, and free with one another.
mm.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love a good
Mm.
laugh and a deep cry because that's healing too. I get
Mm,
yes.
that extends our days.
It's so good. Miss Loretta, it's the last, but last but not least.
I just want everybody to see it because it affected men as much, I think, as it
Mm,
did the women. I think more men came up to me and did my walk away from Gregory Hines and actually did the walk away from Gregory Hines while they were telling me that they had seen the movie. It affected them just as much. I think the movie is so almost like a teaching tool of how to have the relationships and how to be
mm,
part of different things and how to handle when you find out different things about your men, like I did when I found out that my husband in the movie, my first husband was gay, and
Right.
that came out in the movie. But
Hmm.
it got sisters ready for what we are now. All eyes on you. You are seen. You are loved. You are
Mm,
beautiful. I think it was like an introduction to where
mm,
the women are now, and they just have to be on point because everybody is watching you girls. That everybody's got their eyes on you because you are the it. You know what I'm saying?
mm. I, I know exactly what
So
you're
that's what
saying.
I love about the movie. I love that. Anytime you need a lift up, just put it on, and it's
Mm,
on all the time. So
it is.
it's
It
just
is.
a good thing for Black women. You know, it's a happiness kind of thing. So I like that about it.
Uh,
Mhm.
I could talk to you all for days, but we have to go back to life. So I just have to say thank you so much for your years in this business, but this film in particular just gives us so much to celebrate and so much of a mirror to put back up to ourselves whenever we need it. And I just hope you know how much you each of you mean to us in the fabric of Black women in Hollywood, but also just Black women feeling seen. Each of you hold up a light, and you are a light, and we just thank you so much for existing in this space because I know it was not easy, especially in the 90s, and then to continue and still be working incredible actresses now. I just want to applaud you and give you your flowers and say thank you so much for showing up and just being all that you are, and to us you mean so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and
Thank you
a
so
shout
much.
out to Terry McMillan for creating this.
Yes.
hmm
Deborah Schindler for getting it done as one of
Our
the producers.
producer.
So
Hmm.
yes, thank you so much.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
All
Bye.
Thank you
all
so
right.
much, everyone. That is it for the night. We just had an amazing talk. We want to say thank you to everyone who joined us in this amazing cast. More Than a Month Twitter Watch Party series is happening all month for Black History Month. So be sure they'll be back next Friday and follow Seen in Black for more. Everyone have a beautiful night. And thank you to Miss Angela, Miss Loretta, Miss Lela. We'll see you all later.
Right.
Okay, bye bye.
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 Bye.